I have posterior pelvic tilt that just won't go away. How do I fix it? Now, as a physical therapist, I get people that ask me to fix things all the time, and sometimes I look at them right in the eye and I say, I can't fix you. What I can do is help improve you to the best of your abilities. Now, if you have a natural posterior pelvic tilt, so this means your hips kind of drop in, right? You don't have well-developed glutes. If you have a natural posterior pelvic tilt, what you're gonna wanna do is exercises that work the anterior tilt muscles. So you're gonna wanna do glute exercises, hamstring exercises, and posterior chain, because you're walking around looking like you don't have a butt because your butt's tucked in. So how do we improve the backside of your body? How do we improve your posterior chain? By training it. And the other way we can do this is through postural restoration types of exercises. So we can work on core training, core strengthening, stability through the core, and that will help everything to be in line and be functioning optimally. Number 5, I'm really quad dominant. Front squats and sumo deadlifts feel great, but back squats and conventional deadlifts feel unnatural. How do I get better at more posterior focus lifts? All right, so this person's crushing front squats, they're crushing sumo deadlifts, but when they have to sit back into their hips, they don't know what the hell to do. They don't know where to go when they sit back into their hips. So what we want to do is work on that a little bit more. Now, if I want to get better at shooting free throws, the best way to do it is to shoot a free throw. And I think sometimes people forget about this in strength training. They forget that the best way to get better at a lift is to do it. They're always looking for drills or other ways to improve that. You know, one time I blew somebody's mind. I was like, the best drill to improve your front rack is the front rack itself. Right? And so this is the same thing with improving these posterior focus lifts. Put a box behind you. Spread the floor with your feet. Push your knees out as you're sitting back. Get your air, get tight. Right? This is old school powerlifter stuff. Learn how to use your posterior chain by sitting back into that box and bracing your trunk. It'll be weird at first. It'll take practice. It'll take a lot of practice. If you've done thousands of reps of front squats and sumo deadlifts, you're gonna have to do thousands of reps of the other stuff to get just as good at them. But this is how you start. This is how you practice the form and get better at it. Number 6, quarantine is making me more likely to gain weight. What are your tips for helping people stick to a calorie goal? I'm gonna give you 2 answers here. I'm gonna give you the fun answer or the easy answer, and I'm gonna give you what I'm doing right now and what you really need to do if you wanna stick to a calorie goal. The fun, easy answer, make sure that you have a small fist of meat on every plate or some sort of protein. Make sure you have a palm of vegetables on every plate and an even smaller fist of carbohydrates, right? Just 3 fingers. That right there is your portions. It's easy. Portion it out. Don't worry about what the meat is, salmon, chicken, beef, it's all good. Don't worry about what the carbohydrate is, rice, potatoes, any sort of starchy vegetable. It's all good. Don't worry about what the leafy green or the other vegetable is, peppers, onions, it's all good. But that's not gonna get you your calories. That'll get you in a good position, but you're not gonna know if you're using too much oil, if you're using too fatty of a meat. That's a great place to start. Now, if you're already there, but you need to really dial things in, you need to really figure out exactly how many calories you're eating, which is where I am, then you gotta use a scale, my friend. You gotta get out the food scale and you gotta measure. Because that's the only way that you're gonna know that that plate in front of you is 400 calories and not 500. And if you have 5 of those plates a day and there's a 100 calorie difference that we don't know, that's 500 calories at the end of the day that you don't know whether you came in at 2,200 or 2,700. 500 calories a day over 7 days is 3,500 calories. They say that it takes 3,500 calories of deficit to lose 1 pound a week. They say it takes 3,500 calories of surplus to gain 1 pound a week. So that is a good barometer there, right? If we are 100 calories off on each meal and we eat 5 meals a day, that can be huge. You have time if you're on quarantine. You're home, right? You have the scale where you can order it on Amazon and it'll come in a couple days. And then once you start to weigh things, once you start to get to know that food that's on your plate, you'll be so much better at eyeing it up. You'll get something at a restaurant and you'll know, oh man, that chicken breast, that's about 40 grams of protein. Because I've already done this a million times. I know what 40 grams of protein looks like. And that, my friend, is the best way to know how many calories you're eating on the high end and on the low end, on the less intervention side and on the more intervention side of weighing. And like I always like to do, we're teaching you how to fish here. We're not just handing you a fish. So these are skills that you can use for the rest of your life. Whether you care about dieting, whether you care about your physique or not, they're still good skills to know for your own health.